What is known about the mastermind behind the attack on Israel, Mohammed Deif? Mohammed Deif is a prominent figure in the ranks of Hamas, and his name has been kept secret for decades. He is the leader of the organization's military wing and has long been in the crosshairs of Israeli intelligence. Deif survived serious attacks in which he lost limbs and is now in a wheelchair, but this has not prevented him from remaining active in Hamas activities. This information appeared in a Financial Times article that gathered the opinions of experts from Israel and Palestine. Mohammed Deif, full name Mohammed Diab Ibrahim Masri, was born in the Palestinian town of Khan Younis in 1965 in a refugee camp. However, his biography remains a mystery, with only one blurry photo available to the public. As a young man, Mohammed studied at the Islamic University of Gaza, where he also developed a passion for theater, joining an acting group. His parents were involved in the Arab-Israeli wars, and he followed in their footsteps. In the late 1980s, during the early stages of Hamas, Mohammed joined the movement. He utilized his acting skills early in his career by starring in propaganda videos. He soon became one of the prominent and tough commanders in the military's Al-Qassam Brigade. He also earned the nickname Deif, which translates to guest, because of his manner of brief stops at supporters of the Palestinian organization, which helped avoid detection by Israeli intelligence. Deif developed close ties to Yahya Ayyash, a Hamas commander and engineer who was the mastermind behind several bus attacks. Over time, Mohammed Deif became known as a weapons expert and one of the designers of the tunnel system under the Gaza Strip, as well as the Qassam rockets that have been used extensively by Hamas for the past 22 years. The experts interviewed described Deif as a personality capable of constantly adapting to technological changes in the Israeli army, as demonstrated during the ruthless 11-day war between Hamas and Israel in 2021. Hamas then actively used low-tech rockets in an attempt to attack Israeli airspace, and the Iron Dome, a missile defense system, was close to running out of ammunition before a truce was declared. Israeli intelligence services believe Deif has organized many terrorist attacks, including attacks on Israeli soldiers. There have been many assassination attempts on Deif by Israeli intelligence services, and it is believed that one of his wives and his daughter and son were killed in an Israeli airstrike in 2014, although Hamas denies this information. On October 7th, Mohammed Deif published a 10-minute video message announcing the launch of Operation Al-Aqsa Storm. According to Hamas leadership, Israel has repeatedly crossed red lines at Islam's holiest shrine, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, with police raids during prayers. Deif called for the expulsion of the occupiers from the Holy Land and appealed to other Arab countries to join the military action. At the same time, Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei supported Hamas's actions, saying the operation from the Gaza Strip was an irreparable intelligence and military failure of the Zionist regime. Iran's Grand Ayatollah said Israel alone was responsible for what happened. This disaster is caused by the Zionists themselves. When brutality and criminality cross all boundaries, a storm should be expected. It is the Zionists who brought this disaster upon themselves, Khamenei said. Israel has previously repeatedly accused Iran of planning the October 7th attack. However, both in the US and in Israel itself, there is no confirmation that Iran is the organizer of the attack. We don't have any evidence or proof of Iran's involvement. Israel Defense Forces spokesman Major Nir Dinar said, adding that the Israeli side believes the Iranians were not surprised by Hamas's actions. It is hard to overstate how unprecedented the Hamas invasion is. October 7th was perhaps the bloodiest day in Israel's history, and the fact that more than 100 Israelis were kidnapped means that a harsh response from the Israeli army is inevitable. So, we will soon find out what happens next. This is the first time Israel has lost control of a significant part of its territory since the 1973 Doomsday War. But even then, most of the fighting took place in the Sinai Peninsula and the Golan Heights, occupied by Israel but not considered part of it. This time, Hamas forces not only infiltrated Israel, but also let in civilians from Gaza. There have been reports that some Israelis have been kidnapped not by militants, but specifically by Palestinian civilians. Planning such an operation under the nose of the legendary Mossad, Israel's intelligence service, is a huge disgrace. Whether the conflict becomes internationalized and escalates into World War III depends on how Israel's ground invasion of the Gaza Strip unfolds. But already, Palestine's allies are shelling Israel with artillery, and the US has sent its aircraft carrier to Israel. Russia has begun to increasingly counterattack Ukraine, and North Korea, according to the latest reports, is preparing an attack on South Korea. Let's stay on top of the situation. Thank you for watching. If you liked my material, give a like to this video, write what you think about the already quite real World War III, and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with the situation in the world.